So today we are following on from the last video in regards to the quantum field, and I want to continue explaining and reading a little bit for you about the human body and the field we live in. So today we're going to explore how emotions leave patterns in our tissue, how ancestral wounds echo in our cells, how water carries memory, language shapes our reality. And that's really important because what we say, how we speak, the words we utilize, basically create a resonance. And it's that old adage that you grab an apple and you speak nastily to it, and you'll see that it will just wilt and die. If you do that every day to yourself, if your mind monkey is continuously saying and criticizing, then the reality that you are producing for yourself is not a very positive one. It's quite a sunken low vibration. Whereas if you start changing the dynamic between you and that voice, the dynamic of your life can change. How you feel about yourself can change. We will also look at the human heart, because the human heart is the most powerful electromagnetic organ in the body. And we are electromagnetic beings. The heart is capable of influencing the field. And that means that depending on how we are resonating, depends how the field is resonating. So if you look at the moment, everything's really toxic, everything's really negative. You look at everything online, it's doom. And if we are feeling that resonance of low vibration is within us. Whereas if we sit in our center and connect to that heart, connect to our heart space, no matter what's happening around the world, we can change the resonance of what is happening. It doesn't mean that, it's like when I say that, people say, oh yes, and I believe in unicorns and rainbows. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is the field is impacted by your own resonance. So visualize it a little bit thicker. Imagine that the field is water, that we are underwater. And depending on how we're resonating, it impacts the water. And the water that is impacted then resonates and impacts others. Okay, so I need you to think that the field is thicker than what it is, even though we don't realize it, because we don't see it, because we think that we're separate. We think that we're over here and the field is in space. That quantum, because it's always associated, you have the galaxy and the quantum field. They always kind of show it together. It's not. It's all here. It's where we live. And if we go back to water, sort of every breath that we take, every conversation that we have, we're releasing water. Every time that you're in different temperatures in your city, in your town, the pressures of air is water. You have rain, you have steam, you have the clouds holding the water. So all of that is impacting us every day. And I need you to kind of look up, but out, not just up. Because the galaxy is beautiful, but the separation is very big if we're only thinking of the quantum field as up there, because it feels really far away, and it's kind of in our imagination and in those beautiful photographs that those telescopes take, but it's separate to us. And I need you to see it, that it's not separate from us. It's all around us. So how we communicate and interact with each other impacts the space around us. It's as simple as if you have somebody who enters an office and they're in a bad mood, or anybody, it could be an office, it could be a house, it could be whatever, They're in a bad mood, but they don't say a word. You can feel it. You can feel it in the space. How is that possible? You're not just connecting to that person. You're connecting to the resonance of the space. So that's what I'd like to leave with today. And I would also like to explore how humanity co-creates a collective reality. Why conflict reveals what we have not healed. And if you look at that, that's fairly obvious, because we repattern, we rebuild the wound. So you have somebody who is being bullied. In a moment in time, it will turn around and they will become the bully, because their own wounds haven't been seen, haven't been witnessed, truly witnessed. You know, it's not a question of, well, actually, that's an interesting conundrum, because when you witness, but then you you keep going around in the pattern and the wound, then what you're doing is creating resonance in that wound. But I will explain that as we go along. It's that duality of, we need to be witnessed, but to be over witnessed causes more resonance. So I remember hearing a story, I thought it was very beautiful, of an American Indian who had been taken, and he was tortured, he was beaten, he was lots of things happened to him, and he was able to escape and go back to his village. And when he went back to the village, everyone gathered together and everyone circled around him and listened to what he had to say. And after he had expressed the sorrow, the horror, the torture that had happened to him, the shamans, the wise men of the village, turned around to him and said, "You can only say this story 3 times. After you say this story 3 times, if you say it more, it will take your soul." And when I read that and I took it to understood that actually what they mean by that, consider that we're made of water. By saying the story and that resonance continuously, then it becomes part of your DNA. So yes, the story needs to be witnessed, and he was witnessed by his whole village. Yet at the same time, he was also told, okay, this doesn't make you who you are. It's not about making who you are. This was a moment in time. And that's the in-between, that's the difficulty with the in-between of trauma. Because if we look at trauma, especially with therapy, talking therapy, you go over it and over it and over it and over it and over it until it becomes you. Let's stop. Let's witness, but let's realize that that's the resonance of that story, of that moment, of that happening. And really notice that actually it's okay. It doesn't need to vibrate and resonate within you, within your heart, within your waters. So I would like to, throughout the next few videos, explain a little bit more about this vibrational resonance, because we're all one, we're all interconnected. And if you look at the collective trauma that we have, if we're continuously rehashing that trauma, we're never going to be able to change. We're never going to be able to move on. And that's why love and unconditional love is what we need to sit in. But we'll get there. That's a different video, because you're probably going to say, well, how can I accept somebody raping me? How can I accept somebody killing my son? How can I accept all those horrors that happen in the world? And I'm not saying that you need to accept it. I'm not saying that you need to embrace it. I'm not saying that you need to forgive to the point of embracing that person that harmed you. But you need to forgive to a level that by forgiving them, you are forgiving you. And if you can forgive you and forgive them, then we can move forward. Then we can make a change. We can make a change in how we live. We can make a change in how we move ahead with our society, with all the trauma, the collective trauma that has been in the past and that is currently being created as we speak every single day. Because if we don't, how on earth can we move forward? It's the only way. It's the only way we can move forward. Anyway, I hope that you can follow me and enjoy these videos. Subscribe if you're interested and follow the Substack, A Soul's Journey, which has a lot of different writings about quantum field and the human body and how we're interconnected. All right. Bye-bye.